from the Bath Township Public Library, and you are watching Check It Out. Today's Check It Out is all about picture books, and picture books that may not be about the most fun subject. Today I'm going to show you some picture books that are all about worry. Of course, no one wants kids to be worried or afraid or stressed out about anything, but kids have a lot of fears and anxieties, whether it's going to a doctor or a dentist, meeting people they don't know, whether they're afraid of the dark. I know this is Zach's first year in public school, and we've been dealing with a lot of fear and stress about fire drills, tornado drills, and lockdown drills. And those have been a huge fear for him, and he's always afraid that there might be a drill at school, and what kind of drill is it going to be? And so we've had to talk a lot about why he's afraid and why these drills are important and things like that. And he's still worried, but it's important to have conversations. I'm going to show you some great picture books that are all about starting conversations with your kids about maybe what is causing them stress and worry and how they can feel better. So the first book that I'm going to show you is a Todd Parr book. Now, Todd Parr, as you can see, has a very distinctive style, so his books are very easy to recognize. He has written over and illustrated over 60 children's books. This one is called the Don't Worry book. I always think of the people in his book as Muppet people, because they're kind of those bright colors and usually very simple. But that's what really makes his books pop out to children. They're very bold and colorful, and the text is simple and easy to understand. So these are great books for younger children, and this is where, when you go somewhere new, where you're alone, when you have too much to do, you might worry when it rains. And then he kind of goes into, maybe what is ways to feel better. You might feel better if you wear underwear on your head. Be silly. Read a book, exercising or dancing, squeezing a toy, or thinking about all the things that make you strong. So these are great for younger kids. And all Todd Parr books are really great just for teaching kids about a lot of things. He has the kindness book, the love the earth book. He has a mommy book and a daddy book and a grandma book and a grandpa book. So he's just got a huge number of wonderful picture books that are great for teaching kids about love and kindness and how to deal with a lot of their emotions, but really gets down on that level of that a 2 or a 3-year-old can understand, and the pictures are going to engage them. So great books for younger kids. Older kids will enjoy them too. They're fun pictures, really bright and colorful. But Todd Parr and the Don't Worry book is a great one for dealing with when a kid is feeling stressed about something and how they can make that stress go away. Along the same lines, but definitely more for older kids, this is Ruby Finds a Worry. And this is part of the Big Bright Feelings series. This is written and illustrated by Tom Percival, and these are published out of the UK by Bloomsbury. And if you go to Bloomsbury online with this series, there are a lot of free resources. Different puzzles, different questions you can talk to with your child, different little printable activities and things like that that you can use along with them. And this one's nice because, first of all, Ruby's adorable. All of his illustrations, all of his books, and there's Tilda Tries Again, which is about perseverance and different things like that. So this series deals with all different kinds of emotions and, jealousy, things that kids deal with. But the illustrations are super cute. I like that, Ruby's in color, but everything's very gray, and then her worry is like a tangible thing that's kind of growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's kind of like taking over her whole world. And then, finally she realizes that the way to make her worry shrink is to talk about it. And she finds another little boy that also has a worry. And so they talk about their worries together, and both their worries shrink. And then they feel like themselves again. And the worry's still there. I mean, worries sometimes don't go away, but there's a way to make them smaller and not take over your whole world and how to deal with them. So, and then it gives some insight about questions you can ask when you're reading this, what are they feeling and how are they, how to handle those feelings. So this whole series is a great way to start a discussion with your child about their emotions and how to deal with them. which is something kids have to learn, and it's not easy to learn. As an adult, it's not easy to learn how to express your emotions and how to deal with them and live with them. This next one is actually one of my favorite books right now because I feel like this is also great for adults. It's a great reminder. This is written by Jana, who is an elementary educator, and this is just called Most People. And it's something I think, especially if kids overhear the news, which, and we, as parents, we all try to keep them away from things like the news and sometimes current events and things like that they don't really need to, think about or know about. But sometimes, they might hear things like that. And so, but this is all about that, even though sometimes we think that there's just so much bad in the world and so many horrible things and so many awful people and so many bad things happening, that most people are loving and kind. Most people want to help, when they see crying or someone in trouble, and so this picture's great because it shows lots of different helpers. The girl fell off her bike and somebody's running to get a first aid kit. There's a blind person walking with a seeing eye dog. The policeman's giving directions. So, and that some people may say like bad words, and kids might hear people say bad words or say mean things. They might have somebody that's mean to them on the playground, or there might be bullies or, people that do bad things. But, if you line up all the good people in the world, it's going to be a much, much longer line than all the bad people. And that even when people do bad things, they still can change and they can still have good in them. So I just think that most people smile, most people laugh. So I think this is a great reminder for adults too, that most people are kind, good people. And that can kind of get forgotten when we see so much bad publicized. So this is a great one. This is really great for all ages and adults. The next one that I want to show you is a Corey Dorfeld book. She is a beautiful illustrator. Her books just have such a gentleness to them, and the lyrics and the words and the illustrations in Corey Dorfeld books are just kind of dreamy and soothing. I just find them very calming to look at. And this is called The Rabbit Listened. And, Taylor builds a huge tower and she's very, very proud of it. And out of nowhere, it's destroyed. And I see this more, it's probably not just a block tower. This can be a metaphor for other things, that are going wrong in your life. And of course she feels really bad. And then one by one, all these animals come and try to help her. The chicken wants to just talk. The bear comes and he wants to yell and be angry about it. But she doesn't want to be angry. And so they all leave because they're not helping. The elephant thinks that they just have to put everything back the way it was. And Taylor doesn't want to. The kangaroo says they should just throw it away. The hyena thinks they should just make a joke about it. And the ostrich is just like, nope, we're just going to forget about it and stick our head down in the ground. The snake says, let's, be mean to somebody else and that'll make us feel better. But then the rabbit comes and it just sits with her calmly and listens to her when she talks. And then that makes her feel better. And I just think that's just such it's just such a sweet, sweet story, that finding somebody just to listen to you. Sometimes when you feel bad, you just want someone to sit with you and listen. You don't want them to try to fix it. You don't want them to say anything. Sometimes you just need somebody to sit calmly with you and listen to you to make you feel better. Like I said, it's just super sweet and adorable. I love the back where it says, sometimes hugs say more than words. So this is just a great story, a great little picture book for kids when they're upset, where they could be worried about something or they could be upset that something happened and not know how to deal with it. So to read this picture book and then just give them a chance, to sit and listen and hear what they have to say about how they're feeling. And you get to be the rabbit. the final book that I want to mention today is a new book. I saw this that was going to be published. I've been waiting to order this for months and months and months since I saw that it was coming out. And this is called When Things Aren't Going Right, Go Left. And this is by Mark Colagiovanni. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But the art is all by Peter Reynolds, who you will probably recognize from his artwork from The Dot or Ish. He also illustrates all of Susan Verdi's book, like I Am Peace, I Am Yoga, I Am Mindfulness. He illustrates all of those. I am a huge fan of Peter Reynolds' artwork. It's just whimsical and sweet and very fun looking. I love his use of color. I love how the children in his illustrations look. They're just very hopeful illustrations. They just make me happy to look at. But this is all about when things go wrong. You know, when things aren't going right, you need to go left. And he leaves behind his doubts and his worries, you know, and just keeps going. So there's go his worries and his fears. He leaves his fears behind. He talks about how afraid he was to dive off a diving board and that he doesn't want to do it again. But then he leaves his fears down here behind. So I like that he just kind of, you know, he starts out carrying all these things around and he just leaves them, you know. And then his frustrations because, you know, he still landed on his back instead of doing a nice dive. He had to leave those behind too. And they're all telling him to give up and not do it. But then he does it and he does a perfect dive. And then he does it again. And so he finds out that his worries and frustrations and all those things, you know, they can still be there, but they're a lot smaller. So anyways, just a really great story. This one's probably a little bit better for older kids or even for adults. I just think it's a sweet book. And I think it's like such a good message is, you know, when something's not working, try going in a different direction, you know, and not to get bogged down by all this baggage that we carry. And like I said, it's kind of like when Ruby has a worry, like it gives this tangible, you know, substance to a worry or a frustration. So I love the way they all look different too. Like the doubts are like little green gremlins that are yelling at him. So it's just a really sweet book. And like I said, I love Peter Reynolds' illustrations. They have written another book together that's actually been animated, and you can watch that on YouTube. I cannot think of the title for the life of me right now, but just look up Mark Colagiovanni and Peter Reynolds and you will see. But this was actually his first picture book for children. So anyways, beautiful writing, gorgeous illustrations. And those are just a few of the books that we have at the Bath Township Public Library that deal with anxiety and stress and for little ones, and how to really talk about those with them and how they can make them smaller, and how I always find that sometimes with difficult topics and conversations, a book is a great way to get started. So you can read it together and then you can talk about maybe how you feel the same or you don't feel the same. And like I said, it's just a great way to kind of get that ball rolling when you don't know what to say. Read a book first. That's my advice. So thank you so much for watching, and you can check all these books out from the Bath Township Public Library. We also have others, so if you want more recommendations, feel free to email the library and continue to watch our videos. So don't forget to hit subscribe. Have a great day.